Have you ever read every self-help book, watched countless videos, and chanted affirmations about self-love, yet still felt like genuine connection and acceptance were just out of reach? What if I told you there's a fundamental truth, a missing piece that nobody talks about that could revolutionize your relationships, both with yourself and with others? Today, I'm not offering another theoretical concept. We're diving into a profound insight akin to something Carl Jung himself uncovered that will forever shift how you perceive love and interaction. Are you ready to uncover it? If you're watching this, a part of you already senses there's more to explore. This isn't just about the popular ideas of accepting your shadow or balancing energies. It's about applying these concepts in a practical, transformative way. By the end of this video, you won't just understand why you've struggled with feeling truly loved. You'll walk away with a clear, actionable strategy to revolutionize your connection with yourself and, consequently, every relationship around you. This isn't abstract thought, it's about real-world application. Your relationships aren't random. The people you're drawn to, or even those who consistently irritate you, are often direct reflections of unresolved aspects within you. Think about the last person who evoked a strong emotion in you, whether it was deep affection or intense frustration. That individual isn't just a fleeting presence. They are a mirror highlighting something deeply rooted inside you. Perhaps you frequently find yourself attracted to partners who make you feel inadequate. Or maybe you're constantly frustrated by traits in others that you secretly dislike in yourself. Today, you're going to learn how to actively use this relational mirror to uncover those parts of yourself that are silently crying out for attention and healing. Because until you do, you'll continue seeking love and fulfillment in all the wrong places. The crucial question isn't, why does this person behave this way? It's, what is this person revealing about me? This concept of the relational mirror goes much deeper than it initially appears. When someone triggers a powerful emotional response in you, you're often experiencing a projection of your own shadow. Take a moment to examine the patterns in your relationships. Do you consistently find yourself drawn to people with similar characteristics? Or do you frequently try to avoid certain types of individuals? Both of these reactions are incredibly insightful. Attraction and repulsion are two sides of the same coin. They both signal something vital about your inner world. When you feel a deep pull towards someone, ask yourself, what qualities do I genuinely admire in this person? Could it be that these are qualities you haven't fully embraced or expressed within yourself? Maybe you admire someone's spontaneous nature because your own life feels overly rigid and controlled. Conversely, when someone intensely bothers you, ask, what precisely about this person is so irritating? Is it possible that you possess that very same trait, but have denied or repressed it within yourself? For instance, perhaps the arrogance in others sets you off because deep down, you're grappling with your own unacknowledged feelings of superiority. This level of self-awareness is profoundly transformative, but it demands radical honesty. You must be willing to acknowledge the parts of yourself you've kept hidden, even from your own conscious mind. It's in this honest recognition that genuine healing truly begins. The most challenging relationships in your life are often your greatest teachers. That person who consistently gets under your skin. They might just be the key to unlocking aspects of yourself that desperately need your focus. It's no accident that certain individuals enter your life. They're like karmic messengers guiding you toward your own wholeness. Remember, just as others reflect parts of you, you also serve as a mirror for them. When you grasp this, you cultivate both deep compassion and personal responsibility in your interactions. You start to see that when someone reacts negatively towards you, they're not necessarily responding to you. They're responding to the reflection of themselves they perceive in you. Instead of reacting defensively, you can respond with a newfound understanding. The aim of this work isn't merely to identify patterns, it's to transform them. Once you recognize which part of yourself is being mirrored in a difficult relationship, you can begin the work of healing that specific aspect. As you consciously integrate those previously rejected or underdeveloped parts of yourself, your relationships will organically and effortlessly begin to shift. This journey of integration isn't an overnight fix. Don't expect instant results. Instead, observe your emotional reactions with the curiosity of a scientist studying a fascinating phenomenon without judgment, only with genuine intrigue. Over time, you'll notice that the very people who once triggered intense reactions within you will no longer hold the same emotional power. The healthier, more balanced connections you desire will start to emerge. Instead of drawing in people who reflect your unhealed wounds, you'll begin attracting those who resonate with the whole integrated version of yourself. You'll no longer seek in others what you perceive as lacking within yourself. Instead, you'll forge connections built on shared wholeness rather than emotional dependency. True profound love is only possible after embarking on this journey of self-discovery. When you love from a place of completeness rather than lack, your relationships transform into spaces for mutual growth, not sources of emotional neediness. You no longer require someone else to fill an emptiness. You are inherently complete. And here's the ultimate truth. The very parts of yourself you reject are often the same parts sabotaging your relationships. You simply cannot love fully if you don't accept all of who you are. Think about the things you dislike about yourself, the aspects you try to conceal. That is your shadow. Until you integrated it, you'll continue projecting your insecurities onto others. For example, if arrogance in others bothers you, it's likely a part of you fears being perceived as arrogant. Or if you're drawn to people who make you feel small, it's probably because deep down a part of you doesn't feel significant enough. Here you'll discover how to integrate your shadow, not to achieve some imagined perfection, but to become truly whole. Because only when you accept everything you are can you love and be loved authentically. Your shadow isn't just your perceived negative aspects. It also includes your unrecognized gifts and talents. When you reject parts of yourself, you fragment your being, creating an invisible barrier that prevents the deep connections you crave. But when you courageously embrace all that you are, you stop desperately seeking love as something external. You become love, and from that empowered place, genuine connection becomes inevitable. This fragmentation often leads us to seek in others what we cannot accept in ourselves. Every time you harshly judge someone, you're standing before a mirror. That quality that irritates you so much in another person is merely a reflection of something within you that remains unacknowledged. Pay close attention to your most intense reactions. Within them, you'll find the most valuable clues about yourself. Perhaps you despise vulnerability in others because you fear your own fragility. Or maybe you criticize excessive ambition because you haven't allowed yourself to recognize your own powerful desires for success and recognition. Your shadow also manifests powerfully in your romantic attractions. We're often drawn to people who freely express what we have repressed. If you feel irresistibly attracted to dominant personalities, ask yourself, is there a part of me that longs to express more power and authority? If you constantly seek partners who need rescuing, you might be projecting your own unspoken need for care and attention. Relationship sabotage occurs subtly but persistently. Perhaps you fear abandonment, so you subconsciously push people away before they have a chance to leave you. Or maybe you fear being controlled, so you resist any suggestion from your partner, even when it's perfectly reasonable. These patterns aren't random. They are defense mechanisms of your unintegrated shadow. Integrating your shadow requires immense courage. The first crucial step is to be willing to see it without self-judgment. Whenever you feel an intense aversion to something in another person, ask yourself, where does this exist within me? This isn't about self-blame, but about deeper self-knowledge. Integration also involves safely expressing repressed aspects of yourself. If you've suppressed your creativity, find environments where you can freely express it. If you've denied your need for connection, allow yourself to be vulnerable with trusted individuals. Over time, these previously rejected parts will transform from hidden saboteurs into powerful sources of strength. A powerful exercise is to write a letter to your shadow. Acknowledge its existence, express gratitude for its attempts to protect you, and compassionately state your intention to integrate it. This internal dialogue can be the profound beginning of a reconciliation with yourself. The beautiful paradox is that by accepting your darkest aspects, you become more luminous. By embracing your imperfections, you become more authentic, and it is this very authenticity that opens the doors to genuine connections. The deepest, most fulfilling relationships emerge when two people show up whole, with both light and shadow integrated. You no longer need a partner to complete what you lack. You arrive as a complete being. You no longer project your fears and insecurities onto others because you have embraced them as part of yourself. Relationships aren't just about feeling good, they are profoundly about growth. Every conflict, every interaction, every disappointment is an invaluable opportunity to understand yourself better. In this discussion, you'll learn to view love not as an endpoint, but as an ongoing journey of self-discovery. Until you grasp this, you'll likely continue repeating the same mistakes. For example, if you consistently find yourself in relationships where you feel abandoned, it's because there's an abandonment wound within you that needs healing. If you constantly seek people who make you feel secure, it's because a part of you doesn't feel inherently safe. Here you'll discover how to consciously use love as a tool for growth rather than a goal that frustrates you when it doesn't materialize perfectly. When we view love solely as a source of pleasure and comfort, we miss its deeper transformative power. Relationships are life's most intense classroom, the clearest mirror of our inner world. Every person who enters your life carries a specific lesson, and until you truly learn that lesson, the pattern will repeat. The faces may change, but the core essence remains the same. Relational patterns are never accidents. If you examine your romantic history, you'll find recurring themes that connect seemingly disparate experiences. Perhaps you consistently end up with emotionally distant partners, or maybe you invariably attract those who seem to need saving. These patterns are invitations for profound self-reflection, signals pointing to internal wounds that need to be acknowledged. Attachment theory, for instance, teaches us how our earliest bonds shape patterns that recur in adulthood. If as a child you learned that love was inconsistent, you might unconsciously seek inconsistency in your adult relationships because it feels familiar, even if it's painful. Recognizing these patterns is a vital first step toward transforming them. The true purpose of romantic love isn't just to make you happy, though happiness can be a beautiful byproduct. Its ultimate purpose is to illuminate aspects of yourself that would otherwise remain hidden. It is within the intimate connection that your deepest fears, defense mechanisms, and unexpressed desires truly come to light. Love isn't solely about finding the right person. It's about becoming the person who can love deeply, fearlessly, and consciously. When conflict inevitably arises in your relationship, the most valuable question isn't, who is right if side, but rather, what is this situation teaching me about myself? Perhaps your disproportionate irritation over a simple comment reveals a deep-seated insecurity. Maybe your constant need for control is actually masking a profound fear of abandonment. These insights, while often uncomfortable, are invaluable treasures for anyone committed to personal growth. Attractions, too, serve as powerful teachers. They draw you toward aspects of yourself that you have yet to fully integrate. If you deeply admire someone's sense of freedom, it may be because you long for greater freedom in your own life. If you find yourself captivated by another person's creativity, it could be a powerful sign that there's an artist within you waiting to be expressed. Your most intense attractions aren't random. They are like maps guiding you toward unrealized aspects of your own potential. Heartbreak, while undeniably painful, presents an extraordinary opportunity for growth. When a relationship ends, you have a critical choice. You can blame the other person and continue repeating the same patterns, or you can turn inward and genuinely ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? The difference between these two responses determines whether you emerge bitter or truly wiser from the experience. Mature love doesn't seek perfection in a partner. It seeks mutual growth. A relationship rooted in this mindset isn't only about individual happiness, but about shared evolution. In this kind of relationship, every challenge is embraced as an opportunity to expand, to break through limitations, and to heal together. Paradoxically, when you embrace love as a powerful tool for personal growth, happiness comes more deeply and more sustainably. You no longer depend on perfect circumstances or an ideal partner to feel fulfilled. Instead, you find profound satisfaction in the ongoing process of evolving, of knowing yourself more intimately through the mirror your partner provides. The fundamental shift begins when you stop saying things like, "I always end up with the same kind of partner," and instead start asking, "Why do I keep choosing this kind of partner?" This change in perspective restores your power. You are no longer a victim of fate or the actions of others. You become the conscious creator of your relational experiences. Embracing love as a path to self-growth requires immense courage. You must be willing to confront uncomfortable truths, to question deeply ingrained beliefs, and to let go of identities that no longer serve you. But the reward is truly immense. It's more authentic relationships, deeper self-awareness, and the profound ability to love from a place of freedom rather than from a place of desperate need. Why do you always find yourself in the same kinds of relationships? The answer lies within your subconscious. The patterns you repeat are not mere coincidences. They are powerful signals that there's something within you that desperately needs healing. For instance, if you consistently feel drawn to people who make you suffer, it's highly probable that there's an unresolved emotional wound seeking your attention. If you always seek validation from your partners, it may be because a part of you feels inherently unworthy or unseen. Today, you will discover how to identify these patterns and decisively break the cycle so you can create healthier, more conscious connections. Because until you do, you'll continue attracting relationships that leave you feeling unfulfilled. Toxic relationship patterns are like invisible cycles that repeat with almost mathematical precision in your life. You may change partners, but the underlying dynamic remains eerily the same. This phenomenon isn't a curse or bad luck. It's the direct result of deeply rooted subconscious programming that influences your choices without you even realizing it. These subconscious patterns are often formed in childhood when you first learned what love meant and how relationships worked. If you grew up in an environment where love was conditional upon performance, you may now find yourself constantly seeking approval in your adult relationships. If affection in your past was often accompanied by criticism, you might feel strangely comfortable in relationships where conflict is present. The famous phrase, "What is familiar feels safe," explains why we unconsciously repeat unhealthy relationship patterns. Your brain is wired to seek the known even when the known is painful. This is why many people leave one toxic relationship only to find themselves in another eerily similar one. The first crucial step in breaking these patterns is developing profound self-awareness. Observe your relationship history as if you were watching a captivating movie. What themes keep repeating? Do you always end up feeling abandoned? Are you drawn to emotionally unavailable people? Do you tend to lose your sense of identity in relationships? These repetitions are not coincidences. They are invaluable clues pointing to specific emotional wounds. Behind every toxic pattern lies a limiting belief. If you constantly attract people who betray you, it's likely that deep inside you hold a belief that you do not deserve loyalty. If you always find yourself in relationships where you feel controlled, you may unconsciously believe that you are not capable of directing your own life. These beliefs act like invisible magnets, drawing experiences that confirm them. Neuroscience teaches us that these patterns are not merely psychological, they are also deeply neurological. Through repetition, you have created strong neural connections. Breaking these ingrained circuits requires consistent awareness and the deliberate creation of new experiences that directly contradict your habitual patterns. A powerful exercise is identifying your emotional triggers, those specific situations that elicit disproportionate reactions. Perhaps a simple delay from your partner triggers an intense fear of abandonment, or maybe a casual comment about your appearance activates a deep insecurity. These triggers are windows into your core wounds. Healing truly begins when you take radical responsibility for your patterns. This does not mean blaming yourself, but rather acknowledging your active role in the creation and maintenance of these cycles. As long as you see yourself as a victim of circumstances or of others, you will remain trapped in repetition. The power to change only arises when you fully assume this responsibility. Breaking patterns also requires reconnecting with your body. Relational addictions operate similarly to other addictions. There are somatic signals that precede compulsive behaviors. Learn to recognize how the attraction to toxicity feels in your body. There might be an intense excitement, a false sense of security, a comforting familiarity. This recognition gives you the profound opportunity to consciously choose instead of reacting automatically. A fundamental step is setting clear boundaries, both with others and with yourself. If you know you tend to lose your identity in relationships, create rituals that consistently maintain your connection with yourself. If you are drawn to people with narcissistic traits, define clearly what behaviors you simply will not tolerate. Boundaries are powerful acts of self-love that interrupt patterns of self-sabotage. Real transformation happens when you dare to choose the new, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. If you've always been drawn to drama and intensity, a calm and stable relationship may initially seem boring. This discomfort is completely normal. You are actively creating new neural circuits, new ways of experiencing connection. Remember that breaking patterns is not a one-time event, but a continuous process. There will be moments of regression, temptations to return to what is familiar. But each time you recognize the pattern and consciously choose differently, you strengthen your new path. Neuroplasticity is on your side. With each new choice, you are literally rewiring your brain. The ultimate goal isn't relational perfection, but rather the profound awareness that allows you to choose freely. When you are no longer at the mercy of unconscious programming, you can create relationships that truly reflect who you are now, not the wounds of your past. You can love not from a place of lack or compulsion, but from wholeness and profound freedom. Authentic love isn't something you find, it is something you actively create. When you love yourself unconditionally, love stops being something you desperately seek and becomes something you are. This is the shift that changes everything. Because until you understand this, you will keep searching outside for what can only be found within. Love is not something you merely give or receive. It is something you are. And when you live from that profound place, your relationships stop being a source of suffering and become a vibrant expression of who you are. Because love isn't a destination, it's a lifelong journey. We've been conditioned under the premise that love is something external, a force that finds us if we are lucky enough. This romantic narrative, while charming, often places us in a position of passivity and dependence. We wait to be chosen to be seen to be loved. But this perspective fundamentally reverses the true nature of love. Authentic love emerges from within you like an endless spring, not as something you must extract from another person. When you depend on external sources to experience love, you create a pattern of perpetual lack, like a vessel with holes that can never be truly filled. Love that comes solely from outside is always temporary, conditional, and limited by another human's capacity. The true paradigm shift happens when you recognize that you are the primary source of your own love experience. You don't need permission to love yourself. You don't need qualifications or credentials. Self-love is not a reward you earn for being enough. It is your birthright, your natural state. When you remove the barriers you have built against yourself, the practice of unconditional self-love becomes revolutionary. In a world that has taught you to value yourself based on your productivity, appearance, or achievements, it means honoring yourself when you fail just as much as when you succeed. It means speaking to yourself with the same profound compassion you would offer a dear friend. It means recognizing your intrinsic worth independent of any external validation. As you cultivate this deeply loving relationship with yourself, a powerful transformation occurs in your external relationships. You no longer approach others from a place of desperate need or emptiness, but from a place of radiant wholeness. You no longer seek in others what you perceive as lacking. Instead, you generously offer what you already have in abundance. The beautiful irony is that when you stop desperately needing love, you become far more capable of experiencing it deeply. Your relationships then become expansive spaces of growth, not places of completion. You don't seek someone to make you happy. You share the happiness you have already cultivated. You don't expect another to heal your wounds, though you may grow alongside them. You don't depend on someone else to feel valuable, though you celebrate the value they see in you. This profound shift transforms the very nature of your attractions. When you operate from a place of lack, you attract people who mirror your unhealed wounds. When you operate from wholeness, you attract people who genuinely reflect your integrity, who resonate with your frequency of self-love. It's the critical difference between an attraction based on addiction and an attraction based on authentic affinity. The practice of self-love is not narcissism. In fact, it is its exact opposite. Narcissism arises from deep insecurity, from an inner void that desperately seeks constant external validation. Authentic self-love comes from recognizing and honoring your complete humanity, your light and your shadows. It allows you to see others with greater clarity and profound compassion because you no longer project your unmet needs onto them. A truly transformative exercise is practicing conscious self-compassion. When difficult emotions arise, fear, sadness, anger, shame, instead of judging or suppressing them, embrace them as part of your humanity, not as flaws to be eradicated. This radical acceptance changes your relationship with your internal experience and, by extension, with everything external. Remember, love is not a goal you reach, but a daily practice. There will be days when loving yourself feels more difficult, days when old voices of self-criticism resurface. Do not be discouraged. Every moment of awareness is an opportunity to choose love again. Every time you reconcile with yourself after a moment of disconnection, you strengthen your capacity for authentic love. The greatest paradox is that when you stop frantically searching for love as something you lack, you discover it has always been there. Like a fish desperately searching for the ocean while swimming in it, you have been immersed in love all along. Your task isn't to find it, but to recognize it, to allow it to express itself first toward yourself, and then naturally toward everything around you. This is the profound secret that mystics and sages have shared throughout the ages. Love is not something you do, it is something you are. And when you live from that profound truth, every relationship, every encounter, every single moment becomes an authentic expression of that loving essence that is your deepest nature. Love is not a prize given for being enough. It is a state that arises when you fully accept yourself with all your light and all your shadows. No one will love you as deeply, as consistently, or as unconditionally as you can love yourself. And that, my friend, is the ultimate key. When you truly understand this, love stops being a desperate search and becomes a radiant expression of who you are. If this message resonated with your soul, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're ready to continue exploring how to truly transform your life from within, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Remember, love isn't something you find in the external world. It's something you build from within. And that powerful journey of creation begins right now. Thank you for joining me on this profound exploration, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep building, keep growing, and keep loving yourself fearlessly.